Almost all American journalism is controlled by a few massive corporations. News Voice is a one-of-a-kind mobile app that tracks the bias and corporate interests that infuse the news stories we consume every day, and it's completely free to use. Go to newsvoice.com/Pakman to download it. Donald Trump had a completely whacked out speech at a rally in the conservative stronghold of Colorado Springs. Now, it's a story for another day. Colorado Springs, Colorado is a fascinating conservative place, fascinatingly scary, I guess I should add. But I do want to highlight a moment from this completely absurd speech and focus in on Donald Trump actually bragging that his followers are completely cult-like and divorced from any critical thinking whatsoever that would even conceivably allow them to say, maybe Trump did something wrong and we should hold him accountable, just like a cult leader. And the more I watch interviews with Trump supporters, I'm reminded more and more of the book Road to Jonestown by Jeff Gwynne that I read. It's about cult leader Jim Jones. Drink the Kool-Aid originates from Jim Jones. And I recommend the book to you. It's an aside, but Trumpists are reminding me more and more of Jim Jones followers. And more and more, the term cult is actually being used to describe the supporters of Donald Trump. And Trump is bragging about this. Let's take a look at the clip. A visibly sweaty and orange Donald Trump bragging about his cultist followers.
Fake news CNN went up to a woman. What does it take for you to leave the president? I'm not leaving him. There were 10 women. The one woman, beautiful, they're like incredible women. And they had their bandanas, they had hats. And stupid CNN, they go up, what does it take for you? And then he goes, look, he said one time that his people are so good, they'd stay with him if he shot somebody in the middle of Fifth Avenue. Do you remember? Right? Would you stay if he shot somebody? This is actually an answer, something to the effect. Would you stay if he shot somebody in the middle of Fifth Avenue? And the woman looks, well, it depends why he shot him. I thought that was okay.
So Donald Trump there was ridiculing a question that is essentially a defeasibility test. It's what would it take for you to change your mind about Donald Trump? This is a really great question that I've talked about before, and it can be very easily used to determine whether someone is actually thinking critically and using facts to come to a conclusion, or are they first coming to their conclusion and then just post facto interpreting the facts to fit that pre-existing notion that they have. If there is nothing a president could do to make you re-examine your support for them, you are not operating in the world of facts and critical thinking. If someone came to me and said, David, what would it take for you to support Donald Trump? I could very clearly tell you, listen, if Trump came around on climate and said he was wrong all along, he's committing to fight climate change. If he came around on trade, if he stopped using the presidency to funnel money into his own pockets, if he apologized for all the disgusting behavior, if he fixed his tax plan, it's a long list, but I would consider saying Trump might be better than some of these Democrats that are running. I'm at least trying to operate in the world of thinking critically and behaving rationally. So Donald Trump is not only criticizing CNN in the clip for asking the defeasibility question, he's actually bragging about how his supporters are essentially cult followers. They've decided to support Trump and will, after the fact, rationalize anything Donald Trump says and does. It might sound like they're applying some critical thinking when Trump says, well, they'd keep supporting me if I shot someone, depending on why I shot someone. But that entire discussion has already rationalized a president even talking about shooting people on Fifth Avenue and not losing support and not having his followers abandon him. So this clip should serve as a reminder to us that given the cult-like nature of Donald Trump's followers, convincing them to change their minds about who they're going to vote for in November is so utterly and obviously futile. It is not a strategy for winning the election. What we have to do is mobilize people who don't have to be convinced, who aren't part of the cult, and Trump bragging about it is just an additional reminder of that. Trump bragging that his followers are essentially cultists. Let's now get to some other clips from some of Donald Trump's recent rallies.